Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Learning Library. In today's video, we will be covering the having clause in SQL. So we have seen where clause in SQL in our previous video. If you have not watched a where clause video, what is where clause and how can we use that? So you can go to my previous video in Oracle database tutorial and you can watch the video on where clause. In today's video we are starting with a new video with having clause. So having clause is basically used to filter, same as where clause we use. So where clause we can be use where clause to filter out the data, but the difference between having clause and where clause is that we cannot use where clause to filter on grouped record. Like if we have seen some aggregate functions. In aggregate functions we get some output by using aggregate functions, and if we want to filter on that aggregate function result, aggregate or grouped value result, so we cannot use where clause there. We will see the practical example. So for that we need to use the having clause. Suppose we have seen group by also and aggregate functions also. You can watch those video in my channel. So let's say one practical example. Suppose we have one table, select star from employees, and I am taking suppose a minimum salary from my see I'm taking the same query. I'm using the same query for this, so you will be understand. So I'm taking department ID and minimum salary from employees group by department ID. So I am taking department wise minimum salary. See, so here I'll get all the department ID along with their minimum salary. Suppose I want to view only those records where department ID is equals to 100. So for that, what I can do is, in the same query I can use a filter condition where department ID equals to 100. So by using there is some order of execution of query. I'll explain in later that how the query will execute the order of execution. So I'm using where clause where department ID equals to 100. I want to display only those records where department ID equals to 100 and minimum salary for that department ID. So if I run this query, I'll get a minimum salary for department ID 100. Suppose I want to see the department ID 90. For department ID 90, I want to get the minimum salary. So likewise I can use where clause to filter out on my department ID column. But suppose if I want to filter on minimum salary, this is my aggregate value or aggregate functions I'm using with salary column, and this will give me a aggregate value. So on that aggregate value, suppose I'll remove this, I run this query. Let it be here. I'll run this query. So here is my all my department IDs and minimum salary. Suppose I want to display only those department where minimum salary is greater than 6,000. So for that I cannot use to I need to for that I need to filter on my minimum salary. This is my aggregate values. On this column I need to filter. So for filtering on aggregate value I cannot use the where clause. So for that I need to use the having clause to filter on the group value. See here, select department ID, then minimum salary from employees having minimum salary, this is my aggregate functions and aggregate values, greater than 6,000. So I want to display only those records where my minimum salary is greater than 6,000. Group by department ID. So if I run this, See, I can get only those records where the minimum salary is greater than 6,000. In the first query, if I look here, so I'm getting all the department IDs, but in having clause where I am looking for only those department IDs where minimum salary is greater than 6,000. So if I run this, I can go get only those records where department ID is greater than 6,000. So likewise, I can use the having clause with my aggregate functions. To filter out on aggregate values, you need to use a having clause. So this is the basic difference between having and where. Where is used to filter out the data from your existing table or normal table from your table, but having is used to filter out those records from aggregate values or aggregate column. So this is how we use it, having clause and where clause. If you have any doubt, then we can ping me in comments, so I'll try to reply all the questions. Thank you. Stay tuned for the next video.